Hello, everyone. I thought I'd do a quick video on the Unit 4 practice test. The Unit 4 practice test. And so I'm going to, let's get started with that right now. Okay, coming up, we have the unit test final, and I thought I'd do this quick video for you with regards to the practice test. Keep in mind that this practice test, if completed, you can use it as a study guide and you can use it as notes for the final. All right, so the first questions are matching. It says match the system of linear equations with the corresponding graph. Use the graph to estimate the solution. Okay, so you got to do both. You're going to have to find kind of a close idea where we're at with regards to the solution. All right, so the first one is y is equal to the negative of x plus 13, y is equal to 1.5x minus 2. So we're looking for, in this case, an intercept at -2. So anything that's got a -2 intercept, this one doesn't. This one's got a +4 intercept. This one appears to have a -2 intercept, this letter B. -2, and it's a 1.5 would be the slope. So up 2.5 over 2. So it appears that this letter B is going to be number 1. Okay, number 1. Now the intersection here is at 6 positive 7. 6 positive 7. Now I never even checked this other one, but you can see it's crossing at 13, which is right there, and it's got a -1 slope. So it goes down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. Look how the intercept is broken up. So number 1 is B, and the answer would be 6, 7. Number 2 is either going to be A or C. This case, we're looking for an intercept at 4 with a positive 1 slope. So it appears that this is going to be A, but let's check the other one. -1 is the intercept of this equation, has a 3 for a slope, and that appears to be correct. So letter number 2 is A. Solution would be A. And it appears that this is at about 2, maybe a little past 2, and it would be right around 7. Okay, so 2, maybe 3, and then 7. 3 times 3 is 9, minus 1 is 8. 4, this would be 3 plus 4 is 7. So if you had to kind of actually do the problem, this intersection point here would be right around a little past 2 up towards 7. I'm not sure if that's the correct answer though. 2 times 3 is 6 minus 1. So it'd be 3 minus 1. It's a bit close to 3, 7. 3 plus 4 is 7. Yeah, so your answer would be 3, 7. It's a little bit hard to really tell exactly where that point is, but it does work. 3, 7 for both equations. Number 3 has to be, must be C, but let's just double check it. Okay, -3 for a slope, and it goes up to over 3. Perfect. And this one's got a positive 5 for an intercept, and it goes down to over 1, down to over 1. So this intersection point appears to be right around 3, -1. 3, -1 would be your answer for number 3. 3, -1. So again, that would work. You need to check your solution. 3 times 2/3 is 2, minus 3 is -1, and 3 times -2 is -6, plus 5 is also -1. So your answer is 3, -1. So probably the tougher part of these three questions are going to be getting that intersection point. Make sure that you know what, and you're looking for an estimate and to check your solution. Moving on to the graphing section, actual graphing. So here you're going to be asked to take the equation and actually graph onto the graph the two equations and then find the solution, put the solution right here. In this first example, you got 5 is the intercept and it's a positive 2 slope, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, or down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. You can see where my line is developed in these dots. The second equation is -1 intercept, would be this starting point, up 1 over 2. So this would be up 1 over 2 or down 1 over 2. Okay, I better put a few more lines in here just so I can determine this. Down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. I think we're in business there. Okay. So in this case, we're going, starting at -1, we're going to go down 2 over 1, down 1 over 2, and that would be your intersection point. So by graphing, we have a solution of -4, -3, -4, comma, -3. And that appears to be the correct answer. If you put -4 in here, -4 times 2 is -8, plus 5 is -3. -4 times 1/2 is -2, minus 1 is also -3. So that one checks out. Number 5, y is equal to 2x plus 9. Y is equal to 6 minus x, or in other words, this equation is y is equal to -1x plus 6. Okay. All right, start with this. +9 is the intercept. And we're going to go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. And that would be the line for the first equation. Down 2 over 1, like so. Second equation has an intercept at 6 and it's got a -1 slope. So it goes up 1 over 1 or down 1 over 1. And that would be your intersection right there. -1, +7. -1, +7. And as you can see, that works out for both. -2 plus 9 is 7. So when you're graphing, just keep in mind that you want to get it into slope-intercept form. I believe the ones I've chosen for the test are in slope-intercept form. But if it's not, you want to get it into slope-intercept form, easy to graph and easy to see your solution for that first part of the section. Okay, now number 6, we move right into substitution. Substitution, probably the most popular way of solving. So we got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 would be the solving part. So I'm going to substitute this first part, x minus 4, down in for the y. Let's see what we get. So x minus 4 equals 4x minus 10 Okay, so I'm going to try to gather up my x's. I'm going to move my 4 over with the minus 10 by adding it to both sides. I get an x is equal to 4x minus 10 plus 4 is -6. Then I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. And you get a -3x is equal to -6. X is equal to +2. Okay, so x is +2. And if x is +2, you have 2 minus 4 is -2 would be your y. And that would be your solution for number 6. Substitution. Substitution. 2 times 4 is 8. Minus 10 is -2. Answer, x is 2, y is -2. Number 7, I'm going to take this 5x, which is equal to y, and substitute it into this y. Okay, I'm just going to make that decision now. I'll switch colors for this one. So that ends up being 5x, substituting in for y is equal to 2x plus 3. By subtracting 2x from the left and the right, five minus 2 is 3x is equal to 3, x is equal to 1. If your x is equal to 1, you can see that y is equal to 5. Answer would be x1, y5. You can multiply there or take this times 2, add 3, you get 5. So that's by solving using substitution. Take something from one equation, substitute it into the second equation. Now, moving down to number 8 and 9, we have elimination. So we're looking to either add them together, add the two equations together, or subtract them in order to eliminate one of the variables. Looking at number 8, it is set up to eliminate the y. Okay, we've got one y, -1y here, and a +1y here. So if I strictly look at that y, if I add these two together, I have 2x plus 4x, that's equal to 6x. -1y plus 1y is equal to 0y. So that's equal to 9 plus 21, or 30. X is equal to 5. Divide by 6. And x would equal to 5. Okay? And by doing that now, you've got your x equal to 5. And I can pick whatever equation you want. I would probably pick the first one and go 2 times, instead of x now, you got your 5, which is 10, minus y equals 9. Minus y equals 9. And you can see that y is equal to 1. What number, when you subtract from 10, gets you 9 is 1. So your answer there would be x is 5, y is 1. So that's elimination. It's all set up for you here with this one. The y's are ready to go. You just add the two equations together, and just like that, the y is gone. Okay, so it's eliminated. And once you've eliminated, found that x, you substitute it back in to find out what y is. And the last one on elimination is number 9. Not as obvious, but it is lined up quite nicely for you. Got the y's on top of each other. The x's right on top of each other, and the constants. So if you could somehow decide, okay, I want to eliminate one of the variables. Which one do you want to eliminate? I'll probably try to eliminate the y. If I could try to change this 1y to a 3, I'd have 3y minus 3y, or 0y. So I'm going to multiply the top equation by 3 in order to do that. Top equation by 3. What that does is I take a 3 times 3, which is 9, x, 3 times y, which is positive 3y, and that will equal to 33, 3 times 11. The bottom equation stays the same, 6x plus 3y equals 24. Okay. Now you've got the same number all lined up. So I'm going to end up subtracting these two equations in order to eliminate the y. Subtract the 2. And when you subtract the two, you have 9 minus 6, which is 3x. 3 minus 3y is 0. And 33 minus 24 is 9. And that's going to put x equals to 3. X equals 3. Okay. Now, once you've eliminated the y in this case, you've got your x, handy little x there. Let's go ahead and substitute it in to one of the equations. I'll just use the top equation. X is now 3 equals 11. And that'd be 9 plus y equals 11. Answer is 2. Y is 2. Subtract 9 from both sides, your y is 2. So your x is 3, y is 2 on that second elimination question. And the last page of your Unit 4 sample final test or study guide has to deal with just solving. And then just keep in mind now, this could be the section where we are talking about our special answers like no solution and infinitely many solutions. So let's go ahead and solve these. And I can see here this first one, I've got the same thing on right stacked on top of each other. So I could go ahead and subtract these. And I'd have 1y minus 1y is 0. This is 0. 1x minus 1x is 0. Then 3 minus 5 is negative 2. So it appears I have an answer by elimination. 0 equals negative 2. And we've said in the past, when we're dealing with equations, when you have something that just doesn't make sense and you're kind of like puzzled here, and that puzzled look on your face would be no solution for number 10. No solution. Okay, so I used elimination to start solving it. Now, some of you out there may say, well, I could substitute and find a similar answer that's no solution. Or I could just see that we have the same slopes, but different intercepts. So that'd mean you'd have two parallel lines. So either way, if you identify that, you can see that that system would generate a no solution answer for number 10. Number 11, y equals 8x minus 2 and y minus 8x equals negative 2. Now, first off, I'm just going to take this equation and I'm going to move this 8x over to the other side. Y equals 8x minus 2. I added 8x to both sides. So the first equation stays the same. So once I just do that, I get the equation into slope-intercept form. I notice I have the same equation. I have 8x minus 2. This same equation. Basically, it's two lines that are exactly the same. And when we have that, we have what is called infinitely many solutions for number 11. So number 11 would be IMS. IMS for number 11. And the last one on the Unit 4 sample test study guide is a little word problem. There's two problems here, 12A and 12B, and it deals with raffle tickets. It says you, let's say you is X, and your friend, let's call your friend Y, are selling raffle tickets for a new laptop. It says you sell 14 more tickets than your friend. Okay, so right away you could say that X is going to equal y, your friend, plus 14. Okay, that'd be your first part of the problem. This is together, you and your friend sell 58 tickets. So together, x plus the y will equal 58. Okay, so just by doing that, you have your answer. Your system of equation would be x equals y plus 14. And your second equation would be the total amount. Remember, we've said that there's a lot of these questions have the same theme to it. You've got a total, and then there's something else that describes the two. So x plus y is equal to 58. Okay, then let's answer the second question. How many tickets does each of you sell? So they want to know how many you sold and how many your friends sold, okay? So if we could do that, whoever means, we can come up with our answer. Let's take a look at our system here, all right? So I'm going to use substitution. I've got a nice x is equal to y plus 14. I'm going to take that x and I'm going to substitute it down into the second equation. So just to share just to switch to a different color here, if I can get that thing off there, which might be hard now since I was messing around with it. Okay, we'll stay with the same color. All right, so y plus 14, there it moved. Got it. All right, y plus 14 is now x. Y plus 14. Then I'm going to add another y, and that's equal to 58 total tickets. So I took the x, which is y plus 14, brought it down into where x is, and I substituted it in. Now let's go ahead and solve. Combining like terms, you have 2y plus 14 equals 58. 58. Subtract 14 from both sides. By doing that, I have 58. I have 2y is equal to 58 minus the 14, which is 48, 44. Divide by 2. And that tells me that your friend sold 22 tickets by dividing by 22. Okay, so your friend sold 22 tickets. Okay, and it says here that your amount was 14 more than that. So 22, 32, 36. 36 tickets were sold by you. And that makes sense because if you add these together, you get 58 total tickets. So your answer would be you sold 36 tickets and your friend sold 22 tickets. And that's the conclusion to the Unit 4 sample test, the Unit 4 sample test or practice test and study guide. Hopefully you found this beneficial. Go through the problems and other videos I might have to prepare yourself for the upcoming final test for Unit 4. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.